Hey fight fans, welcome back to the Fight Book. This is the Indian accent guy back with some interesting fight news. Today we have 4 new fight announcements in the UFC, including a top-ranked heavyweight fight. Jon Jones is out of his UFC White House card, and Alex Pereira's sister is now a champion in a big league. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let's start it from UFC 318 updates. First of all, Max Holloway calls out Charles Oliveira for yapping about an injury in their first fight. He basically called Oliveira a liar and says that there was no injury, he was fine. Moreover, Holloway is seeking revenge against Ilia Topuria for knocking him out for the first time in his career. Then Holloway also responds to Ilia Topuria carrying around the BMF belt, the fake BMF belt. Holloway gives a suggestion to the UFC that the UFC should create a BMF ranking so the champ knows who are the next possible contenders for him. That's a brilliant idea. Let's see if UFC even consider it or not. Anyway, Jack Della Maddalena also reacts to Ilia Topuria saying that he is the BMF champion. JDM says, little fella is a little confused, it's actually mine. If you don't know what Jack means here, there is a picture on your screen where you can see if the BMF title had been on the line in every fight, who would have been the champion right now. Anyway, the co-headliner of UFC 318 winner Paulo Costa again calls out Khamzat Chimaev without even getting a response from Chimaev. Then the prelims headliner Vinicius Oliveira says that he would now like to fight Umar Nurmagomedov next in October pay-per-view in Abu Dhabi. But Oliveira says that Umar is afraid of him and would not accept this fight. He also says that Sean O'Malley is a real man and he will probably accept the fight against him. Anyway, that's all new updates from UFC 318 card. And now let's talk about this weekend's UFC Abu Dhabi card headlined by Robert Whittaker vs. Rainier De Ridder. De Ridder had an interview with Submission Radio where he says that he expects to choke out Robert Whittaker at UFC Abu Dhabi. De Ridder also talked about next pay-per-view card headlined by Khamzat vs. DDP and says that he thinks Khamzat cannot finish DDP early and DDP will get it done. He is still hoping Khamzat Chimaev pulls out so he can fill in last minute in the main event of UFC 319. Anyway, he's not the only one who believes Dricus du Plessis, as Israel Adesanya also predicts Dricus du Plessis will beat Khamzat Chimaev by a late finish. Then there is an update from UFC Paris for September 6 card. There were rumors that top-ranked French fighter Manon Fiorot will also be present on the card, but now Fiorot confirmed that she won't be fighting at UFC Paris. His coach confirms that she has an opponent and date, and her next fight will be announced soon. Now, if we talk about UFC White House card, International Fight Week, July 2026, Dana White shut down Jon Jones' dream of fighting at the White House card, saying he can't risk putting him in the big position in a big spot and have something go wrong. Jon Jones responds to Dana White saying he is not trustworthy enough to headline the White House card, and he says he is disappointed with Dana White's remarks and that he is in testing pool, will be preparing and is ready to headline White House card. Anyway, his beef with Cormier continues, and it was ignited when Daniel Cormier commented about fighting him at his own house. Jon replied, "Could you imagine getting your ass kicked for the third time in front of the wife and kids?" Jon also claims that he owns a mansion in Daniel Cormier's head. Now let's talk about the official fight announcements in the UFC. First fight for UFC 320 T-Mobile Arena Las Vegas October 4th card is announced, and it is a women's bantamweight bout. Number 9 ranked bantamweight Jana Santos will be fighting Macy Chiasson to get her third straight win into the UFC. Chiasson is coming off a loss to Kathleen Vieira. Then there are 2 fights added on UFC Rio card October 11th. First one is a heavyweight bout where Vitor Petrino, who won his heavyweight debut last weekend at UFC Nashville, will be fighting Thomas Peterson, who just like him is riding only one fight win streak. Then the second bout is women's strawweight fight where Julia Pilastri will be taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Both fighters will be trying to get back into the win column. Pilastri is riding a 1-fight losing streak while Kowalkiewicz is on a 2-fight losing streak. Then the biggest fight, a light heavyweight clash between top-ranked contenders. Number 7 ranked light heavyweight Alexander Rakic will be fighting at UFC 321 Abu Dhabi card against Azamat Murzakhano, where he will be trying to break his 3-fight losing streak. Murzakhano, on the other hand, is 15-0 heavyweight prospect, currently 5-0 in the UFC. Other than these UFC fight announcements, there is a non-UFC MMA fight announced by Misfits Boxing. Dylan Dennis will finally return to MMA and take on Warren Spencer for the inaugural Misfits MMA light heavyweight title on August 30th, undercard of Darren Till vs Luke Rockhold and Tony Ferguson vs Salt Papi. This will be the first ever MMA match on a Misfits boxing card. Anyway, last night there were two under-the-radar fight cards, one from PFL and one from Karate Combat. In the PFL Cape Town headliner, Castillo Van Steenes puts their champion Johnny Eblen to sleep with 10 seconds left in the 5th round after being down on all the scorecards. Then Dakota Dechiba revealed she has signed a new deal with the PFL following her PFL Cape Town victory over Sumiko Inaba, which means you will not be able to see her in the UFC anytime soon. Then Corey Anderson gets his first victory as a heavyweight via second round finish. Since 2018, he's only lost to Jan Blachowicz and Vadim Nemkov, an incredibly underrated fighter in MMA. Moreover, according to sources, he was the highest paid fighter on the PFL Cape Town, making $800K flat. Anyway, former Bellator featherweight champion AJ McKee is also successful in his return to the featherweight division. Then in Karate Combat 56 card, the Pakistani fighter Shahzeb Rind knocked out the original Karate Combat lightweight champion Luis Rocha in the 4th round to become the undisputed Karate Combat lightweight champion, moving to 8-0 in the pit. I hope we can see him versus Anshul Jubli in the UFC soon. Then Alex Pereira's little sister Aline Pereira in the co-headliner becomes the Karate Combat Women's Flyweight Champion in only her 3rd fight in the pit, winning the fight by a unanimous decision and moving to 3-0 in the pit. Aline says that she doesn't want to fight anywhere else but in Karate Combat, and that's maybe because she was not having success in MMA before moving towards the Karate Combat. Anyway, that was all in this video. Now you are again completely up to date with the fight world. If you want to stay updated, stay subscribed and keep watching my videos. Now share your thoughts in the comment section before you close the video and then do whatever you want.